This is Cutefuzzyweasel, and fuck you, Jeff! And welcome to Cutefuzzyweasel Watches. Today we're going to be watching something that admittedly I have actually been wanting to watch this time. I know, right? Usually it's just a confusing hodgepodge of different videos selected at random. But this is different because this time we're going to be watching There's a Man in the Woods. Alright, I forgot to put on the headphones. I've been meaning to put on headphones. I know the audio issues with this have been kind of weird.
There's a man in the woods.
Okay.
What a spectacle. Before the story started, this
Fucking
school was
rock
still
hit me in the lip.
My students used to skip down the hill to the honeysuckle, pluck a couple...
This ends with him being the murderer, doesn't it? I mean, I'm calling it right now. This ends with him being the murderer.
Sid, who just watched them eat the flowers while he seethed and scowled because he couldn't bear to share his sweet treats throughout our recess hour. I remember Sid saying, "There's a man in the woods." That's how the rumors began. Of course, Sid had spotted him first. The poor kids. He got him immersed in his spiel about a serial killer whose gun barrel glint hints at peril. A visit to the nurse, or worse, a hearse waiting just beyond the dale.
Animation's pretty good.
Saw him everywhere. Look, over there. That man had Batman ears. We swear. And crazy yellow eyes. We saw something rusty. His shotgun? It must be. I saw a lady's severed thigh. Trust me, every word I heard was absurd. Yet each day Sid would stray down way past the playground. Who else was brave enough to save us from the killer's next plot? The rest of the lot would stop back at the blacktop, sure that any closer they were bound to be found deep in the woods, left to rot. I pleaded for the kids to think...
Something similar to this actually happened to my elementary school, believe it or not. I think, yeah, something similar to this actually did happen.
And when the buses drove them all home, the parents finally heard. Everything just blew up.
Except we didn't have emails back then because we only recently adopted the internet maybe 5 years ago.
Families who'd heard word of the murderer and didn't like my lack of action at all. What was I supposed to do? Comb the whole forest? Yeah, right. Would you? That means I didn't care? That's not fair. The stories that worried you weren't true. Of course I would feel regret had there been a real threat and I ignored it. And some poor kid got kidnapped while the kids were napping. But you couldn't admit that your good little kid would formulate a fib so he ignored what I said. Your little angels could never cook up such incredible creations. And overactive imagination.
I was right in calling it, wasn't I?
How dare I? Accuse a child of being dishonest? Just monstrous. The parents were displeased, and when the PTA took action, they dismissed me from the classroom. Why, they knew what was best for their kids. Do you know how difficult it is to get a job when a bitter mom slanders your rep with child neglect from the outset? Now who's in control of your classes? Single file line? Single file line. Little wild swine,
shit.
A killer by the pines. Really? Are you blind? Will you find your spine? Sick. A child decides to fill our minds with lies, and the next thing you see is people treating me like I'm committing crime. I was in my prime! Those kids were lucky to have me. Do you see what you did? But I can play along. I can be good. Do you hear that, Sid? There's a man in the woods.
I called it! I fucking knew it! Ah, that was good though. That was good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Anyway, if you have anything you want me to watch, list it in the comments below. And if you have anything you want me to say at the beginning of an episode, list it in the comments below too, and it might get said. And I'm getting better on that. As you can see, the last thing I said had a little picture. So the ones that I pick will have a little picture. So, you know, recognition. That'll keep me in line.